A gentle breeze danced through the garden, toying with the soft petals of roses in bloom and casting a bewitching spell upon all who were gathered. It was a day adorned with love, a symphony of joy and celebration, and at the heart of it all was me, Sophia, the girl about to embark on the most beautiful journey of life. Ethan stood before me, his eyes twinkling with what I then perceived as affection, the contours of his face softened by the golden glow of the sun. His hand, warm and strong, held mine as we faced the minister, our voices weaving together the vows that would unite us forever. Forever and always, Sophia, Ethan whispered, his voice a soothing melody laced with promises and dreams. I looked into his eyes, losing myself in their depth, believing in the love I saw there. The ceremony was everything I had ever dreamed of. Our friends and family, faces radiant with happiness, showered us with petals as we took our first steps as husband and wife. Laughter filled the air, the clinking of glasses and the soft murmur of well wishes creating a tapestry of joy. The reception was a whirlwind of music and dance, a celebration of love that seemed to elevate us to a world where nothing else mattered. Ethan and I danced the night away, our bodies moving in perfect harmony, our souls entwined. As the night wore on, the guests began to depart, leaving behind their blessings and the echoes of their laughter. Ethan and I found ourselves alone, standing on the balcony, gazing at the starlit sky. "Do you love me, Sophia?" Ethan asked, his voice suddenly serious, his eyes searching mine. "With all my heart," I replied, my voice filled with conviction, my love for him a tangible force. "And you'll always be by my side," he continued, his grip on my hand tightening. "Always," I whispered, sealing the promise with a kiss. But even in that perfect moment, beneath the twinkling stars and the soft caress of the night, a shadow lurked. I brushed aside a fleeting chill, a whisper of doubt that I attributed to the cool night air. I was in love, and nothing could diminish the joy I felt. Yet, as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, that shadow began to grow, tainting the beauty of our love with something dark and insidious. Ethan's eyes, once filled with warmth, began to flicker with something else, something I couldn't quite place. Our new beginning was unraveling, the fabric of our love fraying at the edges. But I was blind to the signs, caught in the web of promises and dreams, unwilling to see the storm clouds gathering on the horizon. Little did I know that the man I had married, the man who had whispered sweet promises into my ear, was not who he seemed. The seeds of discontent had been sown, and the garden that was once filled with love and laughter was about to wither and die. The stage was set, and the tragedy was about to unfold. Our love story was transforming into something else, something twisted and cruel. The real Ethan was about to reveal himself, and my life was about to change forever. The transition from the idyllic world of love and affection to the dissonant chords of domesticity was both subtle and jarring. Our home, once filled with laughter and warmth, began to resonate with a different energy. An underlying tension brewed, simmering just below the surface, threatening to boil over. Days turned into a monotonous blur as Ethan's true nature began to emerge, like a snake shedding its beautiful skin to reveal something raw and unnerving. He grew impatient, his tone sharp and cutting, his words laced with bitterness and dissatisfaction. "Is this what you call dinner, Sophia?" he would sneer, pushing his plate away with a look of disdain. "I work all day, and this is what I come home to." I would stand there frozen, the words stabbing into my heart, my dreams of a perfect life shattering around me. But I would swallow my pain, forcing a smile, trying to bridge the growing chasm between us. "It's not enough, Sophia," Ethan would yell, his voice rising to a crescendo, his face contorted with anger. "You need to earn more. You need to do more. You're just not enough." His words were like a slap, each one leaving a mark, each one a reminder of my failure in his eyes. The Ethan I had married, the loving and gentle man, was gone, replaced by a stranger filled with greed and impatience. And yet I clung to the remnants of our love, believing that somewhere, Deep inside, the man I had fallen in love with still existed. I worked harder, taking on more projects, working remotely late into the night, trying to prove my worth. It was during those long and lonely nights that a dream began to take shape, a dream that I hoped would heal the wounds that had opened between us. A dream of a house, a beautiful house worth $1 million, a sanctuary that would be a testament to our love. I worked in secret, hiding my plans from Ethan, wanting it to be a surprise. The house became an obsession, a beacon of hope, a symbol of the love I still believed in. But even as I poured my heart and soul into the dream, the fabric of our relationship continued to unravel. Ethan's outbursts became more frequent, his words more cruel. The man I had married was slipping away, replaced by a shadow, a distorted reflection of the love we once shared. Our home became a battlefield, each day a struggle, each night a war. I would lie in bed, my body aching from exhaustion, my heart heavy with despair, listening to Ethan's ragged breathing, knowing that something precious was dying. The dream of the house became my lifeline, the one thing keeping me afloat in a sea of chaos. I would close my eyes, imagining the rooms filled with light, the garden blooming with life, the walls echoing with laughter. But the more I clung to the dream, the more Ethan drifted away, his greed and impatience turning him into someone I no longer recognized. Our love, once vibrant and alive, was now a brittle shell, hollow and empty. The stage was set, the pieces in place, and the tragic dance was about to begin. I was about to discover that dreams could be shattered, that love could be twisted, and that the path to revenge was a journey I never thought I'd take. The storm was coming, and I was standing on the edge, staring into the abyss, knowing that everything was about to change. My life, my love, my world was about to be turned upside down, and there was no turning back. The house, the symbol of my love, was about to become the weapon of my revenge, and the man I had loved was about to become the target. The game was about to begin, and I was ready to play. The sky was painted a stormy gray, mirroring the turbulence that had taken over my life. The air was thick with tension, every word, every glance charged with an electricity that sparked and crackled between Ethan and me. Our home had become a fortress, and I found myself tiptoeing through the hallways, afraid to wake the dragon that lurked within. That fateful morning began like any other, the silence broken only by the clinking of dishes and the distant hum of traffic. Ethan was brooding, his face set in hard lines, his eyes cold and distant. He sat at the breakfast table, his fingers drumming impatiently, his lips pursed in displeasure. I knew something was coming. I could feel it in the air. A storm building ready to break. I served breakfast, my hands trembling, my mind racing, knowing that the breaking point was near. "You call this breakfast?" Ethan spat, his voice dripping with contempt. "Is this the best you can do? What do you even do all day, Sophia?" His words hit me like a wave, and I stumbled back, my breath catching in my throat. But I had grown used to his insults, his belittlement. I tried to respond, to defend myself, but the words were trapped, locked behind a wall of fear and confusion. "What's wrong with you, Sophia?" Ethan continued, his voice rising, his face twisted with anger. "You're nothing but a burden, a leech, a greedy girl who takes and takes but never gives." The dam broke, and the words flooded out, raw and unfiltered. "I'm doing my best, Ethan." I cried, tears streaming down my face. "I'm working hard, trying to make you happy, trying to make you happy, trying to be enough for you." "Enough!" Ethan roared, his face flushed with rage. "You'll never be enough. You're a failure, Sophia. A disappointment. I can't stand to look at you anymore." And then, the words that broke me, the words that shattered my world. "Get out. Get out of my house and never come back." I stood there, frozen, the room spinning around me, the ground slipping from beneath my feet. My house, my house, my house. The words echoed in my mind, a cruel joke, a twist of fate that I couldn't comprehend. I stumbled to my feet, my body moving on its own, propelled by a force I couldn't control. I packed a bag, my hands numb, my mind a blank canvas, the reality of what was happening too overwhelming to grasp. I left, the door slamming behind me, the sound reverberating through my soul, marking the end of a chapter, the beginning of something new. I drove, the world a blur, my thoughts a tangled web of confusion and pain. I found myself at the house, the beautiful house I had bought in secret, the symbol of my love, now a sanctuary, a refuge from the storm. I walked through the rooms, my footsteps echoing, the silence a heavy weight, crushing me, suffocating me. I sat on the floor, my body racked with sobs, my heart aching, my soul broken. But as the tears flowed, something else began to stir. Something deep within me, something I had never felt before. A fire, a burning desire, a need to reclaim what was mine, to stand up, to fight back. I had been broken, but I was not defeated. The game had changed, the rules rewritten. I was no longer the loving wife, the obedient partner. I was a woman scorned, a woman wronged, a woman wronged, a woman ready to take back what was hers. The storm had broken, the battle had begun, and I was ready to fight. The time for tears was over. The time for revenge had come. The stage was set, the players in place, and the next act was about to begin. Ethan had awakened something within me, something powerful, something fierce. I was about to show him that I was not the weak, helpless girl he thought I was. I was about to show him that I was strong, that I was about to show him that I was capable, that I was enough, and I was about to show him that revenge was a dish best served cold. The shift in the wind carried a chill, an omen of change that sent a shiver down my spine. I stared at the gleaming walls of my new house, the house that was supposed to be a surprise for Ethan, a symbol of love that had turned into a fortress of retribution. Days turned into restless nights as I plotted my course, each detail meticulously planned, each step carefully considered. I was no longer the Sophia who wept at Ethan's cruelty. I was a new being, forged in the fires of betrayal, sharpened by the pain of deceit. My old life was a distant memory, a faded photograph gathering dust. The Sophia who believed in love, in kindness, in patience, had been replaced by a woman driven by justice, by the need to reclaim what was hers, by the desire to make Ethan pay. I reached out to a lawyer, a no-nonsense woman with a reputation for ruthlessness, for winning at all costs. Together, we crafted the legal daggers that would pierce Ethan's armor, that would strip him of what he thought was his. The divorce papers were prepared, each clause a carefully aimed arrow, each paragraph a calculated blow. I would take back my old house, the house that was rightfully mine, the house that Ethan had thrown me out of. I would take back my dignity, my self-respect, my life. And then I would deliver the ultimate blow, the coup de grace that would leave Ethan shattered, broken, defeated. I would tell him about the new house, the $1,000,000 house that was mine and mine alone. I would watch his face as the truth sank in, as he realized the magnitude of his mistake, as he understood that he had lost everything. I returned to our old house, my heart pounding, my palms sweaty, my mind focused. I walked through the door, my steps firm, my eyes fixed on Ethan, who sat on the couch, a look of surprise on his face. "Sophia," he stammered, his voice trembling, his eyes wide with shock. "What are you doing here?" I smiled, a cold, calculated smile, my voice steady, my words laced with ice. "I've come to get my things, Ethan, and to give you something." I handed him the divorce papers, watching his face as he read, as the color drained from his cheeks, as he realized that the tables had turned. "What is this?" he whispered, his voice barely audible, his hands shaking. "It's over, Ethan," I replied, my voice firm, my eyes unyielding. "I'm taking back what's mine. I'm taking back my life." I watched as he crumbled, as the weight of his mistakes came crashing down, as the walls he had built came tumbling down. I watched as he begged, as he pleaded, as he tried to salvage what was left. But it was too late. The game was over, and I had won. I left him there, a broken man, a shadow of his former self, defeated and humiliated. I walked away, my head held high, my heart light, my soul free. I returned to my new house, the house that was now truly mine, the house that had been a dream and had come a reality. I stood in the garden, the scent of blooming flowers in the air, the sound of birdsong, a soothing melody. I had taken back what was mine. I had stood up for myself. I had tasted revenge, and it was sweet. But even as I reveled in my victory, a nagging doubt lingered, a haunting question that whispered in the wind. Was it enough? Had I truly won, or had I lost something far more valuable in the pursuit of revenge? The house stood tall and proud, a monument to my triumph, but it was empty, a hollow shell, a reminder of what could have been. I was free, but I was alone. I had won, but at what cost? The taste of revenge was bittersweet, a heady brew that left a lingering aftertaste, a flavor that was both satisfying and unsettling. The battle was over, but the war was far from won. The next chapter was yet to be written, and the path ahead was uncertain, filled with twists and turns, shadows and light. But I was ready. I was strong. I was enough, and I knew that I could face whatever came next, with or without Ethan, with or without love, with or without revenge. The journey had just begun, and I was ready to embrace it, to learn, to grow, to live. The taste of revenge was but a fleeting moment, a stepping stone on the path to something greater, something deeper, something real, and I was ready to take the next step, to explore the unknown, to discover the woman I was meant to be. I was ready to begin again. The first rays of dawn painted the sky with shades of pink and gold, casting a gentle glow on the world, signaling a new beginning, a fresh start. The million-dollar house that once stood as a symbol of revenge now took on a new meaning, a sanctuary of self-discovery, a place to heal and grow. The divorce was finalized, the legal battle won. The old house was mine again, and Ethan was left with nothing but the ashes of his own making. But victory felt hollow, a Pyrrhic triumph that left me wondering about the true cost of revenge. I wandered through the rooms of my new house, each corner filled with potential, each space a blank canvas waiting to be filled. The silence was no longer oppressive, no longer a reminder of loneliness. It was an invitation, a call to explore, to create, to become. Days turned into weeks, and the pain began to fade, the scars beginning to heal. I found solace in the garden, my hands buried in the soil, planting seeds of hope, nurturing them with love and care. I found joy in the simple things, the laughter of friends, the warmth of a smile, the comfort of a hug. I began to rebuild my life, brick by brick, piece by piece. I found a new job, one that allowed me to work remotely to balance my passion and my profession. I found new friends, people who saw me for who I was, not for what I had been through. I found myself the true Sophia, the woman who had been hidden beneath the layers of fear and doubt. I redecorated the house, filling it with color and light, with art and music, with memories and dreams. I turned it into a home, a reflection of me, a place where I could be myself, where I could grow and thrive. I started writing, pouring my thoughts and feelings onto paper, transforming my pain into prose, my suffering into prose, my suffering into stories. I found my voice, my passion. And then, when I least expected it, I found love. His name was Alex, a kind-hearted man with a gentle soul, a man who saw the beauty in the broken, who found strength in vulnerability. He walked into my life uninvited and unexpected and turned it upside down. We met at a local coffee shop, a chance encounter that turned into something more. We talked for hours, our conversation flowing like a river, our connection deep and real. We laughed, We cried, we shared our dreams and our fears. And slowly, surely, I began to trust again, to believe in love, to open my heart. Alex was the balm to my wounds, the light to my darkness, the key to my soul. He loved me for who I was, not for what I had been through. He loved me for my strength, for my resilience, for my courage. He loved me for me. We danced through life hand in hand, our love growing with each passing day. We explored the world, tasting the flavors of different cultures, absorbing the beauty of nature, learning from each other, growing together. And in the process, I found peace, contentment, happiness. The $1,000,000 house that had once been a symbol of revenge had become a home filled with love and laughter, with warmth and joy. It had become a testament to the power of redemption, to the ability to rise from the ashes, to the ability to rise from the ashes, to the strength to begin again. I had taken back what was mine, not through revenge, but through love. I had won, not by defeating Ethan, but by finding myself. I had triumphed, not by breaking someone else, but by healing myself. I was no longer the victim, no longer the broken woman seeking revenge. I was the phoenix, rising from the ashes, soaring to new heights, embracing life with open arms. I was Sophia, strong and whole, ready to face whatever came next. I was me.